Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I hope you're having a fantastic day and I hope that this video finds you well. Do you remember how they told us Joe Biden was sharp as a knife? He's doing backflips behind closed doors. Yeah, on camera, he, fumbles his words a little bit, but when no one's looking, he's sharper than anyone they've ever seen. Well, do you remember the Robert Hur investigation into Joe Biden stealing classified documents, leaving them in his garage where his son Hunter smokes crack? Well, the Republicans in Congress have just released the audio recording of Robert Hur's interview of Joe Biden. Remember where after he testified, Robert Hur testified in front of Congress and said, I can't indict him because he's too old and his memory, we're going to lose in court if we indict him. They're going to say he's dumb. Now we got the audio, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from? Let's get right into it. So they say, breaking, disturbing audio of Robert Hur's interview showing Biden repeatedly struggling to remember names and dates released. Let's just watch the clip.
Chambers Road, and there were documents related to the Penn Biden Center or the Biden or the cancer failure shot or your book. Where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working?
Well, I don't know.
By the way, keep this in mind. This guy was our sitting president. Imagine if something happened in the middle of the night or even during the day. Just keep that in mind as we're going through this. It's only like 4 minutes, but it is horrendous.
This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying.
Remember, his son died in 2015, not 2017 or 18.
And so it was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period, except the president. It's not a mean thing to say, but he just thought that she had a better shot of winning the presidency than I did. And so I hadn't at this point, even though I'm at Penn, I hadn't walked away from the idea that I might run for office again. So if I ran again, I'd be running for president. And so what was happening though, when did Bo die? May 30th, 2015. Was it 2015 he died? 2015. I think it's 2015.
I'm not sure the months are, but I think it was.
Yeah.
That's right, Mr. President.
And what's happened in the meantime is that and Trump gets elected in November of 2017, 2016.
So he forgets when his son Bo died. He forgets what year Trump was elected the first time.
All right. So, what happened 2017?
That's when you left office, in January of 2017.
Okay.
Doesn't remember when he left VP office.
But that's when Trump gets sworn in.
Right.
January.
Right, correct.
Okay, yeah. And in 2017, Bo had passed, and
Again,
this is personal. The genesis of the book and the title "Promise Me, Dad" was I know you're all close with your sons and daughters, but Bo was like my right arm, and that was my left. These guys were a year and a day apart, and they could finish each other's sentences. And Bo, I used to go home on the train, and
So they're asking him about specific dates when he took documents. He doesn't remember. And he just goes off subject talking about his family.
the period that I was still in the Senate,
He was not.
anyway. Do you remember? There was pressure, not pressure. Bo knew how much I adored him. And this sounds, maybe this sounds so. Everybody knew how close we were. There was not anybody in the world who wondered whether or not. Anyway. And so.
Sir, I'm wondering if it's a good time to take a break. Briefly then.
No, let me just keep going to get it done.
That was the sitting president of the United States for 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, after watching that, genuinely, I feel bad for Joe Biden. I feel bad for Joe Biden. I feel bad because for what his wife did to him. They all knew he should not be in office. They all knew he should retire somewhere and go, spend time with his kids, grandkids, whatever mental capacity he still has. No, they are so anti-Trump. They are so power hungry. They are so, demonic that they were willing to take this man who is so old, who's got dementia, who obviously you could tell he is still hurting from his son's death. He is hurting that Hunter is an addict and he can't help him. Plus all that pain is there, right? He doesn't remember the dates or anything, but he's talking about his sons because there's that pain in his heart. And they used his mental decline. They used his pain. And then they put him as the front man. And they just used him and abused him. And today, the book, I believe, Original Sin from Jake Tapper is being released about how the Biden administration covered up Biden's mental decline. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be very interesting. But Trump, just today, I believe Truth shared this. I'm going to read this with you. It was on Truth Social. Whoever had control of the auto pen is looking to be a bigger and bigger scandal by the moment. It is a major part of the real crime that the presidential election of 2020 was rigged and stolen. Millions and millions of people knew that, but the radical left Democrats waged a campaign of inoculation and innocence like none that had ever been waged before. This is why the unselect committee of political thugs, who were given a full and complete pardon by the person who wielded the now illegally used auto pen, deleted and destroyed all evidence and information from their corrupt and vicious witch hunt against me, and many other people whose lives were completely shattered and destroyed by this historically criminal event. Remember, it all began with dirty cop James Comey, Obama, and hapless and cognitively impaired sleepy Joe Biden. And my now very famous accusation that, quote, they spied on my campaign. Whoever had control of the auto pen is just the beginning. The biggest crime of all is that the 2020 presidential election was rigged. MAGA won the election by millions of votes, and everyone knows it. God bless America, for the fight has just begun. Trump shared this on Truth this morning. I believe that the scandal's not over. The scandal's not over. We will get to the bottom of what happened. who was behind it, who orchestrated it, and who funded it. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up. God bless you. Subscribe. I'll see you soon.